Life is hard. This show, The Southern Style Medium, is all about understanding your life struggles, why they happen, and how to fix them. Get ready to be enlightened with life tools and free readings each week by renowned psychic medium, life coach, and motivational speaker, Sharon Pugh, fondly known as the Southern Style Medium for her warm, humorous, and tell-it-like-it-is approach. And now your host, Sharon Pugh.
Hey everybody, how are you today? It's me and Matthew Brandau for another The Southern Style Medium, and I want to make sure that we've got Matt in the room. Oh, nope, but the church bells finally went off. No, I was finding it so soothing. It's like boing, boing, but it's this rhythm that is just, it was like, I thought it was maybe music on the radio.
You
and
actually
then I was
decided
listening
to bring
to
this up
it.
and talk about it?
I just, no, it's really, I'm bummed that I can't hear it.
Okay, fine. You come live here. I'm going someplace else.
So, well, you live close to a church. That's a good thing.
Moving on.
Okay. All right. Okay. Well, no, today, and I'm going to make sure because I get scattered very easily. But no, today we're going to talk a little about the difference between dreams and astral projection or astral travel to different planes. And then we're going to kind of mix in a really neat topic that you brought to my attention. And oh my gosh, that reminds me, when you do snoring, it reminds me of that radio show where the poor woman, started snoring. But anyway,
Yeah.
so before I'm like, I got to stay on track. If you want to get a hold of us before we begin, if you want to book a private reading with myself, go to SharonPugh.com or SouthernStyleMedium.com. If you want an immediate no-wait reading, go to BestAmericanPsychics.com or BestPsychicDirectory.com. Look for my picture, click on the instant reading, and these are great. I do these more than I do private readings just because I love the fast pace, atmosphere.
Well, don't forget, Sharon, you're cutting yourself short here. You've also got the ability to give instant readings on your own website. They don't have to look for you on another website. They can go right to your website.
Yes. I actually have thank you. Yeah, I actually have an instant reading link where you can click on that and then go straight to the instant reading. So there's actually three, avenues that you can go to: my website or the Best Psychic Directory or Best American Psychics. And I think that's it. And just if you want to follow me on Facebook, Sharon Pugh, P-U-G-H, find me, friend me, follow me. And that would be great.
I like that one. Find me, friend me, follow me. I think we have a new sales pitch. It's been stolen. Well, folks, I am Matthew Brandau. I am internationally known in my own mind. And I'm very happy to be here with Sharon Pugh, but we probably should change the name of the show a little bit to something besides Sharon Pugh.
The Southern Style Medium, because, you're in Germany. So we actually are thinking about another name for the show that kind of gives the flavors of both of us. So if you have any suggestions, anybody listening, feel free to
I got to ask you, what flavor do you think I am?
You're an American living in Germany, very psychic, very medium.
That's a flavor?
Yeah.
Oh, God. I thought you were going to say chocolate ice cream.
So, no, but that's your favorite ice cream.
Yeah. I like mint, too, but for some reason the guys around here make the back taste of the mint is very, what do you call it when it doesn't taste right? It's not sour. It's very, what do you call it when it doesn't taste right? It's yucky. It has a back taste, which is really gross.
Pungent?
No, that's stinky. Um, I can't remember that. Anyways, so peppermint ice cream and chocolate ice cream are my favorites. But anyways, moving on. We are having an interesting show today, and if you want to get an instant reading from me, go to psychicmatthew.com. And also, we have a new website. Should we mention it now or later on, Sharon?
Oh, no, go ahead and mention it.
All right, let me take a minute here. Would that be all right, Sharon?
Oh, absolutely. Go ahead.
All right. We have a new website that's in the process of growing. This website name is called clickmypsychic.com. It's all one word. We have people applying for it already. There's an application, very easy to find. This is going to be what I'm calling the gold standard for psychics, mediums, light workers, tarot readers, you name it. If you've got a metaphysical skill, we're looking for you. The application is not simple. It takes a couple of minutes to fill it out because it's going to be a website that allows every single psychic to have a fantastic looking website of their own design. Most websites have a pre-designed template. You have to fill it out. You're limited sometimes to an extreme. Sometimes there's a little flexibility. And this one, when it's said and done, and we're working on the first version of it now, and then later on we're going to recreate it again into a much higher level technical version. I'm in the middle of learning it right now. Right now, if you send the application, we'll review it. If you look like a good candidate, a good fit, we'll then give you a call. We'll have a little bit of a conversation, and if everything feels right, we're going to put you up on the board and have you listed. They click on your picture, and boom, there's your page with everything you can imagine. Video, pictures, content of text, links to every possible social media site you want. There is no limit to what you can put on your website. That's it. And that's why I'm calling it the gold standard. Cost for this, zero. Did you hear me that? Light workers, metaphysical workers, did you hear that? Zero. There is no cost for listing, no matter how much content you want to put on there. Zero cost. It is free. And that's all I'll say about that for now. So, what do you think of that, Sharon?
I think it's a fantastic site. I told you it's going to grow and it's going to be hugely successful. So I'm honored to be a member of it. So thank you for bringing me on.
I'm excited about it. You were one of the first people I said got a Sharon on here. Okay, so with that being said, let's go back to the discussion we are going to start today about dreams and travel. Now, Sharon, I've got a lot of dreams because mine are crazy vivid and I have them quite often. But let's hear about one or two of your dreams first and whether or not they were dreams or astral projection.
Okay, I mean, because I have both, and I can tell the difference between a dream and astral travel because my dreams are usually worried based. I dream in symbols, like seeing a snake, or I'm, in kind of in a earthly situation. So it's almost like when I'm dreaming, I know that it's a dream. When I astral travel, it is, a place that I can get a sense that is very unfamiliar to me. And there was one experience that was so vivid that I had many years ago, and I kind of, created this windows into heaven, where I ended up in this big room and there were these beautiful beings and they were dressed in taupe colored robes that, that looked like they zipped up with a tassel on it. And I remember feeling this love, overwhelming love, and I knew everybody there. I don't know how I knew. And we communicated telepathically. So it was just like an unspoken love. And I remember saying, I want to stay here. I don't want to go back. And they said, come with us. We want to show you something. So I remember, seeing the doorway, and then past the doorway was like a concrete, banister with the arches in it, and I could see outside. But there was no wind, there was no clouds. It was just sky. And I turned down a hallway, and there was a carousel horse. And they were telling me telepathically that this will be here for you when you come home. This is your gift. And then, boom, I wake up, and I knew that that was astral projection. I knew that I had, gone to a very high dimension. I don't
That
know if
doesn't
it was
sound like
heaven.
that doesn't sound like astral projection. That sounds like spiritual travel. Like your
It
spirit went right up to heaven and you were in heaven for a little bit.
very, very much so. And because I knew these beings, and one in particular had golden color hair, and I remember his face, and I remember knowing him, and I remember hugging, and like family. And I just remember feeling, I know that I'm here, and I know that I am still earthbound. So I had a consciousness about that. And it's just I think about it every single day and play it over again to give me that feeling that I'm closer to that plane. So I
Okay,
think we all do it. We just don't remember.
here's a question for you, and this is something that the listeners, I really want them to think about when we're talking about dreaming and we're talking about traveling, be it astral projection, which is on the second plane, and then spiritual travel, which is higher dimensional, which is what you were just talking about. Um, there is something here that you mentioned which is very important to me, and that is you said the consciousness. You were aware that you were up there, but here's the trick. How, if you could give it a percentage, let's say 50% or less, you were aware you were there, or 50% or more, you were aware you were there, and you had awareness maybe of your whatever the dimensional self is in that place, you were aware of it, or you were only aware perhaps of your shoulders, your hands, of your eyes maybe, and the rest of it didn't cross your mind. You didn't think to look down. You didn't even have the urge to look down to see if there was anything else there, or was it under 50% and the in the now was completely gone?
Oh, there was only like 10% of, it was almost like only my face was aware. I didn't have any concept of having a torso or legs or feet. I didn't walk. I moved. I moved forward. And there wasn't any walking motion. I didn't feel pressure, or I didn't feel ground underneath me. I saw it. It was marble and it was shiny.
Did you sense gravity?
No, none.
Okay, that's fascinating. So if you didn't sense gravity, then you were definitely in a different area where certain sensations are not having an impact upon you, such as when you're in the astral plane and you're traveling along at a fast speed, either by running or by flying or floating. Some people claim to have a certain speed that they max out at, and they want to go faster, but they can't. There's something restraining them from it. And my theory is, my possible idea is, are you experiencing a gravitational effect upon your astral projection because you are in the second plane, which has a mass that is impacting your speed, because you are actually a little bit more solid, but you're not as aware of it?
That completely makes sense, and that I'm glad you brought that up, because there was another experience where I was flying and I'm over. It's dark, but there's lights, and it's like an old English village back in the early 1800s, where everything is lit up by using candles or lanterns. And I remember that, okay, this is not home, and I don't know what this is, but I'm going to go check it out. And I land on, in between these buildings, and all of a sudden, this small little thing, and I don't even know what it was, but it was chasing me all over the place. And I remember thinking, I've got to get away from it. So I leaped, and I could leap for miles and land in another spot, and this thing would just chase me all over the place. And I remember thinking to myself, this is a planet that I don't want to be on. This is really weird, and I don't belong here. And all of a sudden, I left, and then I woke up. I knew that that was not a dream because I was, again,
Oh, I
conscious.
agree with you.
Yeah,
I completely agree with you. I think you were in a place that you weren't supposed to be. You got there by accident. Now, would you like me to tell you what I would label that as? And this may sound very strange. Yes? No?
okay, yes.
Okay. So what I call that is, and it's a made-up term. Once again, you have my Matthewisms, or Mattisms. That sounds better. Mattisms. It's what I would call quantum travel or quantum dreaming. Quantum is a mathematical equation that deals with energy or matter at the atomic level and subatomic level. And we as energy have those parts to us. And quantum actually allows you to travel from one place to another without the actual traveling in between. You from a spiritual form, you disappear from one place and reappear in another, but the distance traveled is not is absent. It's gone. You just simply reappear someplace else, and that's called what I would call quantum dreaming. And it sounds like that's what happens, is that you're in one area while you're dreaming. You become aware of it, and it is a location now remember, quantum has the ability to travel through dimensions. When we're in a spirit form, we are not limited to just the lower dimensions or a few of the upper dimensions or the dimension we're in right now. We are unlimited. So your experience could be any one of the dimensions that are out there, and you realize you weren't supposed to be there. But here's the catch, is that theoretically, by one person I listened to, said that there's a control system on a very high level dimension. They said if there exists like the 11th or the 12th dimension. And what it talks about is, in this area, there is some type of quantum computer field that watches all of life. How it does that? Don't ask me. But that's probably God's level or one step below God's level. I don't know. But they were saying that on a computer, sort of, a screen is watched of where spirits are traveling, and they control it. They say, this one is from this dimension. They've slipped out and they've gone someplace they're uncomfortable. Let's send them back to another dimension they're more familiar with, or wake them up. It's like a control system, so they knew you were there, and they said, oh, she's uncomfortable, send her out. It sounds weird, but that's what I consider to be kind of like the control tower for dreams, because I don't think dreams are just allowed to go sporadically out and everywhere without some sense of ability to return without the control of the spirit, because the spirit doesn't necessarily know where it's going. So I think somehow there's an overseer. Does that make sense to you?
It does, because I never, this thing never caught me, but it was like 2 feet tall and shaped like a pear with a long nose.
Right.
And
that's
I have
really weird.
hundreds. I know I have hundreds of these experiences, and somebody once told me, it's like, Sharon, you need to write a book on where you've traveled and what I've seen, because it's like I've been to so many that I do this all the time, and it.
Okay. I'm going to share it with you. I'm going to share the mouse story.
Okay.
Okay. Folks, you're not going to believe this, okay? For those that are listening, try not to giggle, but you will. I did. I'm on this planet. Don't recognize it. It's very Earth-like, but the topography is all completely different. The geometric impact of the area is completely different. The structural foundations are different, but there's grass, there's trees, so there's a lot of similarities. Now, here's the interesting thing is I'm jumping along at speeds that would impress a jet, and it doesn't faze me in the least. And I know that for some reason I'm a controlling peacemaker. I'm supposed to just walk all over the planet or jump all over the place, whichever one you have it. And I make sure that if there's a fight or there's a disruption, I'm the person responsible for bringing peace. And all of a sudden I become conscious that I'm doing this. And I'm like, hey, this is a lot of fun. I'm just hopping all around here. I'm like, and then it hit me. Now, ladies and gentlemen, let me tell you, I decided consciously I want to go and see my reflection. There was no houses, but I found a building with dark glass. I jumped over to the building and looked at the glass, and I got the perfect reflection of what I was. I wish I could say it was me. No. Sadly, it was not. In fact, it was the farthest thing from. If I was in a fully conscious body, I guarantee you there would have been defecation, a loss of complete bowel movement, probably went into a heart attack, and screamed all at the same time. And then sit there writhing on the ground in some kind of seizure. That's how incredible I looked. But I wasn't in that stage. I was in this metaphysical dream or astral projection going someplace or spiritual travel into a quantum area. I was a 6 foot tall. When we get back, I'll tell you the rest of it. This is a good cliffhanger.
Oh, wow. This is a fascinating show. All right, guys, come back. We'll be right back after the commercial.
Conscious media for conscious minds. OMTimes. OMTimes magazine is one of the leading online content providers of positivity, wellness, and personal empowerment. A philanthropic organization, their net proceeds are funneled to support worldwide charity initiatives via Humanity Healing International. Through their commitment to creating community and providing conscious content, they aspire to uplift humanity on a global scale. OMTimes, co-creating a more conscious lifestyle.
Tune in to the Practical Intuitive, Mind, Body, Spirit for the Real World with me, host Robin Fritz, Mondays at 2 p.m. Pacific, 5 Eastern. I'll cover personal and business intuition, animal communication, mediumship, space clearing, past life regression, shamanic insights, energy healing, soul choice, and more, all to help you tap your own intuitive and healing skills. No ifs, ands, or buts.
My name is Meera Batra, and this is How I Live United. Many families have come to America for a better life. I advocate for these families with United Way. United Way empowers them to see opportunities available. We help them get involved with their kids, schools, and network within the community. My name is Meera Batra. I help families see opportunity and succeed. I don't just wear the shirt, I live it.
Give, advocate, volunteer. Live United. Go to liveunited.org. Brought to you by United Way and the Ad Council.
All right, we're back right here. We just had a little bit of a notification, so we will be taking callers in just a moment and giving us some good readings. If you are looking for a speed reading, please give us a call. And Sharon, you're there, right?
I am here, yes.
Great. Okay, so let me finish up this story, and then we'll move on to the readings. So I was staring at this mirror. In not a mirror, but a window outside. I was on the ground looking at this very nice building, and I'm looking at this thing, and I'm a 6 foot or taller mouse rat. I am huge. I have a huge, and I don't know why it was red, but I had a red nose. That's comparable to Rudolph the Red-Nosed Reindeer. Okay, I don't know why. Don't ask. This is the next freaky part. My fur was that of a very sexy, dark bluish, silvery something. I don't know, but it looked good. I was kind of impressed.
Oh my God.
And then I had more muscle on me than Arnold Schwarzenegger when he was the champion in the United States for heavyweight muscle building. I was so filled out with muscle, I swear to God, I must have been taking steroids. And I said, well, okay, that's me. I look. Now, this is the sad part. I felt I looked good for what I was. I mean, how messed up is that? I'm a 6-foot tall, muscular guy with a red nose, and I thought I looked good. So, anyways,
Again, is validation why we do this radio show together is we are not from this planet. I think
well, that dream sure as heck wasn't. I'll tell you that. I'm glad I got back to Earth. I woke up, I was like, oh, thank God.
I can't even connect with that. That is so beyond my, my awareness and my consciousness. I'm thinking, well, let me give you a reading on that and tell you what it means. And it's like, no, that is so advanced. That is just, that I can't even touch that.
Well, speaking of, you can't touch that. Why don't we go on to, what were we going to say? I'm sorry. You're going to play what?
No. Let's just go to a reading. No, but I'm going to have that in my head. I'm just going to see that image over and over and over again.
Okay. All right. So yeah, we do have a caller on the phone. So let's bring her on and see what's going on. Hello.
Hi, Summer.
Hello. Hi. How are you?
Hi. Good.
I made this time.
Okay, perfect. I've never done a reading for you, have I?
Yes, remember I called a couple of weeks ago? Well, you probably don't remember. I called a couple of weeks ago, and I got last of the show, and I was asking about if I was going to buy a house.
Okay, all right.
We got cut off at the end of the show. It was the last minute, and I said, uh-oh.
Okay. All right, yeah. Do you want us to look at that for you, or did you have a new question for us?
I'll just go ahead and go for the new question because the house is going to be on hold for a moment. I applied for a job in Nashville, and I'm wanting to know, am I going to get this job? Am I going to be relocated, or what's up?
Oh, my God.
I don't know if that's good or bad.
This is not what I'm being told to tell you right off the bat. If you don't mind if I do this, Sharon, or not?
No, go ahead, because then I'll give you what I'm getting after Matthew.
I'm being told that even though this job looks good and everything seems like it might go well, I'm being told there's a huge red flag that if you do go to this job, within less than 3 months, you will be 90% wanting to leave as fast as possible, and you will be kicking yourself. That is literally what I'm being told to tell you right now. You will be hating yourself because you thought it was on the green grass was on the greener grass was on outside. What did you just say? I didn't hear it.
Oh, because I'm trying to give me the straight input, because if it's going to be like that, then I don't need to take the job.
I'm not going to tell you yes or no, not to take the job or to take the job. I'm just letting you know what I'm getting is that if you did go there, you'd be kicking yourself. You'd be angry at the fact that you thought it would be better over there. And it's not because the job itself, but it's the people you're going to be working with. 1 or 2 of them that will not leave are going to make your existence there while you're at the job miserable. The house and the relocation would be fine, but you would be looking for another job instantaneously, and you would be literally, your blood pressure would be going up every single day. Go ahead,
okay,
Sharon.
Thank you.
Okay, I'm going to clear my throat for this.
Got to make it quick for her. Yeah.
All right. Boy, yeah, some things came flooding in really quickly. What state do you currently live in right now?
I live in Kentucky.
Okay. All right. what I'm getting is not, and I'm going to divert a little bit about where I see you getting a job and what I see you doing, but I just heard from a maternal grandfather and said that, you really missed your calling, that there was a time and space, and tell me if this makes sense. If it doesn't, that's fine, that you wanted to be a nurse. You wanted to be, you wanted to work in the health industry. Does that make sense before I go on?
Yes.
Okay. All right. I'm seeing that you do work in the health industry, but not as a literal nurse or technician. It's almost like you help people in a capacity, but not in a nurse, quotation kind of way. Does that mean anything to you?
I work at a pharma complex. I used to work at a hospital.
Okay. All right. What I'm seeing you doing is, I'm going back a little bit and kind of remote viewing and seeing you
Just remember,
working
this has got to be quick because she's got somebody else on hold.
in the health, industry. You've got to stay in that field. So if this job was not in that field, I'm hearing that you've got to stay in that field, and don't be afraid to look outside of where you're at. Don't be afraid to look at another state, because the door's open for you to make a giant move in a new life. You are going to have a job by the end of October.
So
I'll agree with that. I'll agree with that. If you don't take this job, you will actually be doing much better, and you will make another major move towards the end of the summer. I will agree with you, Sharon, 100%.
So I should go in the health field?
You're going to have an opportunity that's going to surprise you.
Yeah, I'm getting stay in the health industry, because your contract was you almost became a nurse, almost. But working in the health industry before, you kind of gravitated off your path. So look to get back on that path, and anything that you do in the health industry, no matter what it is, you're going to have that abundance.
Well, thank y'all so much.
You're going to do good. You're going to do good. Good luck to you. Thanks for giving us a call.
Thank you all.
Okay.
All right. Take care now.
Summer.
Bye.
All right. Bye-bye.
So, as I said, if there's anybody else who's looking for a reading out there, just like with Summer we just did, she had to go kind of quickly. Otherwise, we'd give her a little bit more, but we respect your time. And if you want a reading from us, give us a call, and we will be happy to give you a reading. So back to the mouse. That's a hell of a reference.
I did get a couple messages that you weren't literally a mouse. It was what Spirit wanted to show you, that something so weak and vulnerable, you can be strong. You can be beautiful. So there was a message in that. And so I absolutely, I was kind of listening to all of the details of, you were moving at lightning speed, and you were jumping, you jumped up, you realized that you could see your reflection if you jumped up to look into a window.
Oh, no. I was standing on grass outside the building, and I was just looking at my reflection, nice and relaxed.
Okay. You had a long tail too, didn't you?
Oh, God, you would have to ask me that. I don't remember the tail. I probably did.
Okay. And just, and I'm seeing the color of the fur, and I'm seeing the nose, and it was almost like Matrix, where they made you look the way that you did because you were going to see your reflection. And
there's another thing also that I want to talk about here too that has to deal with quantum events. You ready for this one?
Yeah, I think I know what you're going to talk about. This is fascinating.
All right. We have some quantum events that are going on in our time right now. quantum events, but not on a mathematical level. They're talking on a multi-dimensional level. We are experiencing a massive electrical shift. And you can't relate this to quantum manifestations on a higher frequency. And what I mean by that is the human being vibrates on a frequency. When they come to a higher level of consciousness or thinking inside their brain, the cellular level, we actually increase the level of the vibration, the level of the frequency of thinking. We actually go higher. We can speed up things a little bit faster, think faster, process faster, learn faster, comprehend faster. Spiritually, it's very fast, incredible. What's happening right now is we're having a major political events going on all over the world, extremely fast. The United States is one of the catalysts of this, along with Russia and China. Now, I don't know if the listeners can understand what I'm talking about by this, but what I'm talking about here is we are actually heading in a direction of peace. Now, the direction of that peace is not about who's good, who's bad, who's doing whatever. It's about the effects. There is a balance that is beginning to happen worldwide. Now, you can have the TV telling you one thing, and you can have the local under-the-table media places telling you something else. The truth, as far as that goes, is a mishmash of he said, she said, you said, they said. And I don't care about that. It's not important to me. What's important to me is the actions, not the words. I could talk about, hey, I'm going to run for president for the rest of my life. And everybody says, hey, did you ever run for president? It was just words. What are the actions? And right now, our actions are becoming more peaceful. We are increasing our vibrational level. With Russia, America, China, Africa, all countries are starting to show signs of wanting to have peace. And people that are on the negative side, they worship other things besides God. They worship money, oil, whatever they worship. These people are starting to lose the power that they had when it comes to the holding on of this type of thing. And that's a beautiful thing that we're dealing with in increasing our abilities. And we'll be right back in just a moment. I'm sorry to dominate the airways. We'll talk to you shortly.
The Real Conscious Connection. OMTimes Radio. IOM FM.
Have you wondered how to change your love paradigm? The secret key is finding a love partnership, not just a regular connection. How do you find these? Through conscious relationships. Ascending Hearts Dating is a dating site for people like you that believes in second chances and a different type of spiritual connection. Try Ascending Hearts for free at ascendinghearts.com and change your love paradigm. Ascending Hearts, the premier dating community for the spiritually awake.
Hi, I'm Kelly Fox, host and astrologer of The Astrology Show. Each week, I'll give you access to the current transits, which are a valuable tool that provide astrological information to help unlock the potential each of us has. Understanding the stars can help steer us in the right direction to make better informed choices. So if you're wondering what's going to happen in your week ahead, be sure to tune in to The Astrology Show for guidance, Mondays at 9 p.m. Eastern Time.
Melissa from Michigan. I work an extra part-time job serving lunch at my child's school, but I still can't afford to put food on our table.
Daniel from California. Choosing whether to pay the rent or pay to fix the car to get to work doesn't leave us with much at all. Now we can't even pay for meals.
Hunger is a story we can end. End it at feedingamerica.org. Brought to you by Feeding America and the Ad Council.
All right, we're back with Matthew and Sharon. So to wrap up what I was talking about is we are heading in the right direction on a spiritual basis worldwide. There's a lot of confrontation and things going on, but you can believe me, and I'll keep it short because we don't have very much time on this subject, is that you can be thankful that it is working. Awareness is coming, whether or not people want to believe it in the social level. We are actually becoming more and more aware, and I'm hearing about it. I'm watching it on the news when I specifically pick up just places here and there. It's working. We are starting to head towards a generational, peaceful way of life, and hopefully within the next 1 to 2 generations, there will be no war at all. So that's what my thought was on that, Sharon.
And I just want to add that because we are, and I talked to a lot of clients in 2017 that their whole life was falling apart. And, when I get this group, it's, somebody from another country, somebody from the US, Europe, China, Australia, and they're all having the same experiences. I go into a meditation and I'm like, okay, what is going on? And what I was shown is that in 2017, there was a lot of reorganization of our awareness. We were either shut down or we were on this kind of out of control, roller coaster. And I was told 2018 is going to be a year of transition and peace. But through that, when we start moving into a period of peace, we forgot what peace is like. So a lot of the millennials only know, post 9/11. So they don't know how to relax. So we lost the ability to relax. So what you said makes perfect sense. And coming back to a period of peace, we are going to have moments where we have anxiety and it's kind of hard, but it is coming. So you're absolutely, right about this. And kind of linking that back to dreams, it's why we do have, I've been hearing, people saying, I've been having really bad dreams. Well, it's like detoxing. You're going to have bad dreams to kind of purge out the negative so that peaceful energy can come in. And, so we are going to be dreaming more. We are going to be astral, traveling a lot more. And
okay, now here's an interesting thing. We're talking about, there's something I want the people out there listening to us, I want them to think about this. And the next show that we have, let's see how many people will actually call in and tell me yes or no. When you're dreaming, to all our listeners, do you fly? And when you're flying, I mean really high, but you're really happy and you feel free, and you're flying along at speeds, and you're actually just kind of in a test flight. You're trying to see how fast you fly. You want to turn left, turn right. And then all of a sudden, maybe you lose control, or somehow you're not going the way you want and you're trying to correct it. I want to have listeners call in and tell us, hey, I went flying, and where were you when you were flying? What was the surroundings like? Did you have other people flying with you? Or were you all alone? Or were you being chased like Sharon was in her dream? What was going on? Were you just traveling for pleasure? Or were you traveling because you wanted to get one particular place as fast as possible for a reason? Go ahead, Sharon.
Okay. I've got a flying story, and I'm going to pick your brain a little bit about this. All of a sudden I was flying like way up in the sky, and I knew that I was off the coast of Ireland. And I could see the cliffs. Never been to Ireland, but it was very familiar to me. Excuse me. When I was flying, and I looked down, and there's this old, huge pirate ship. And it wasn't from this time period. And I'm thinking, oh crap, I've time traveled. I've gone back in time. And I'm wanting to go down there and see who's on the ship. And it's like I'm trying to get down to the ship, but I can't. But I just keep circling, and I look at it. I look at the wood, and it's dark wood. And I look at the masts, and I can see the details of the ship, but I can't see the people on the ship. But I know that I'm, back in the 1700s. And
Okay.
it's like I'm fascinated. So
I think you're actually earlier than that.
I wouldn't be surprised. I mean, it was a old, primitive, but it was a big ship, but it was
Okay,
made
so
of
then what's your
wood, kind of
question?
like pirate. Why was it so familiar to me? Why did I knew where I was in Ireland. I knew where I was off the coast, and I have never been there.
Oh, actually, you have many, 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 many times. I would say that Ireland is one of your more favorite places to visit. But I'd say you've not only visited it in this lifetime, I'd say you've probably been there in a few past lifetimes. But I would say you've been there many times unconsciously when you've been sleeping. You didn't even know you were there. You don't remember being there, but you've been there many times. That's one of your more favorite places to be. But I don't think you were meant to land. I think something was telling you basically, nope, you're not landing there. It is not a good idea for whatever experience you have when you're in there. You were being either protected by yourself or something else was protecting you. That's my interpretation.
Okay, that makes perfect sense because I have this desire to go to Ireland, and I have this sense of when I do go, if I ever do make it over there, that it'll feel like home to me. So it's almost like this intuitive, prophetic thought that I have. So
I think that was
does make
probably,
sense.
Ireland is probably one of the happiest homes you've ever had in a past life. One of the places that you have the best, most fun memories, and I think it was probably more than one. So that's my interpretation.
Okay. Well, you're spot on about that because when I get stressed, it's like I want to go to Ireland. I just want to get on a plane and go to Ireland. My comfort zone. But there was, I don't know if we've got time, but I
got 10
wanted to
minutes.
share this quick story of this, astral traveling again, astral projection of this planet. And when I astral project when I'm awake, I go into meditation and I go down this slide. And it gets faster and faster and faster as I go. And on the right and the left of me, I am seeing, just seeing places. And one on my left was a gnome-like creature. And it was a forest and woods, and I could see the gnome-like creature moving, past me, walking past me. And then on the other side, this big giant well that was the same color as an orca was jumping up. So it was a well that very similar to what we have here, but not the same coloring. And then I stopped. I wasn't moving, and I stopped. And on the left of me was this it was a red planet. And there were mountains, and there was this cave. And this human figure, and it looked, just as human as us, except a little bit shorter. The limbs were disproportioned as to ours. Skin very dark, darker than any skin I have ever seen anybody have. And he was holding like a spear, and his eyes were, his eyes were really huge, almost like he didn't have eyelids at all. And he looked at me, and I looked at him, and I'm like, oh, can you see me? And he's just like, and then all of a sudden I look to my right, and I see this monument. And it's a triangle. It looks like stone, but it's not a type of stone that I've ever seen in my entire life. And on the stone was a half-closed, half-open eyelid. And immediately I knew that was their monument for the loved ones that pass on, is if their eye is half closed and half open, then they are deceased. And it's like I was computing all of this in the like half a second that I realized that he was seeing me and I was seeing him, and he was shocked. And then all of a sudden I got sucked back, into that tube. And then I was like sitting in the chair and jarred awake.
Yeah, see, that's exactly what I'm talking about right there. What percentage are you aware of when you're doing this? So you must have been literally going to some other level, to another planet, to another place, and you were aware of yourself there, but only partially, like maybe just over 50%. And then when you got sucked away, you were aware that you got sucked away, but it reduced you down to nothing, and then you came back to 100%. Can you imagine if we could actually, in our dreams, or when we're flying, or we're doing whatever we're doing, and we take a quantum dream leap, and we are 80 to 90% conscious of ourselves? What would that be like?
Yeah. No, I mean, I was fully awake. I intentionally.
No, but you're aware of the gravity. I'm talking, you're aware of your hands.
Oh, yeah.
You can touch things. I mean, it's almost like you're 100% there. Can you imagine?
That would be cool because, yeah, when I do this, I don't have any, conscious awareness of my body. It's just
the next time you do this,
my eyes.
Try to see if you can see your feet. And if you can, try to touch them. Good luck with that.
I don't think that if we, master the ability to do this anytime we want, I think where we go, we don't have the ability to, to maintain the atom particles that make up the feet, that make up the legs.
Yeah, that's a tricky one you're talking about there. But that's actually what I was just going to bring up in the last minute is, if we were going to be able to go 100% consciousness into another location, what would happen to our body here? If we are 100% conscious, would our body at a next level, at the next stage beyond consciousness, would we be able to take our body with us? Wouldn't that be fascinating?
That would be, fascinating. And I mean, I think, maybe not in our lifetime, but I think we're going to find a way to master astral projection. And
maybe
eventually, time travel back. And kind of one thing that came to mind is when we, at 3:00 in the morning, they say, if you hear a spirit or, a knock or something, that's the witching hour. And sometimes I wonder, okay, what if other people are visiting us and they're astral projecting and they're coming to visit us, and it's not really a spirit, but it's somebody that is just coming to visit us, and we perceive it, as a guest. So in a sense, we haunt each other in our reality here. Does that make sense?
It does make sense. It does make a lot of sense, and that's also a great place to start to wrap up the show, because we're just a couple of minutes out from the end of the show. So I wanted to say, Sharon, thank you very much once again. This has been a really fun topic, and I've had a blast. And everybody, please listen up to this before you go. If you stayed under the show for this long, please go visit Sharon Pugh at SharonPugh.com, PUGH.com. You'll be glad you did. Go for the instant reading or give her a paid hour reading and, have a nice long chat with her. I guarantee you'll fall in love with her accent. She's fun to talk to, as you can hear. And if you want to get a hold of my crazy butt, you give me a shout out through the website at psychicmatthew.com. And if you're curious about seeing the new up-and-coming website, then drop by at www.clickmypsychic.com, or if you really want to make it short, type it in as without the www, just cmp.one, and you will get the website the same way, but no triple W. Don't ask me why, it's a new thing. Any comments from you, Sharon, before we sign off?
Yeah, was that an app or something? The whistle sound.
No, that was my cell phone.
Okay, because, last week's show, I had a male spirit twice that said, stop.
That's right. That's right. No, this wasn't a male spirit. This was technology.
Okay. I just wanted to make sure because I'm thinking if this is going to be a regular thing where I'm going to have somebody interrupting us, then I'm going to have to do something about it. But
stand back.
I know. I am a little bit Irish, so I can speak my mind. But yeah, if you'd like to book a reading with me, go to SharonPugh.com or southernstylemedium.com. Again, the instant readings, go to Click My Psychic, Best Psychic Directory, or Best American Psychics. And you can also download the OMTimes radio app and archive our shows. And we are going to be coming up with a new name for the show. So hopefully we will have that, done within the next week or two. So come back, folks, join us next week, and thank you for listening. Have a beautiful weekend.
Take care, folks. We'll see you next time. Bye.